I support different teams in planning customer shutdowns in different countries in the world. So what is a shutdown? So the first thing to say is that there are a couple words that are used in the industry for shutdowns. You might have heard of the word turnaround, you might have heard of the word outage. There are a couple others. Ultimately, in spite of the small differences, they're all the same thing. Plants in the process industry cannot keep running forever. They need to stop every couple years or every couple months to perform maintenance tasks, to perform inspections, which are required by law, to do some upgrades, to make some changes, to do some testing. So this is all part of the process and why shutdowns have to be performed every couple years. Now, it depends on the industry, depends on the customer. Some plants may shut down for an extended period of time every year, and by that I mean 2-3 weeks. Some plants may shut down every 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. It really depends on the customer or the industry, but overall the trend is for plants to really push and extend those durations, and a lot of plants now are aiming for 6-year shutdowns, 7-year shutdowns, and always with the same goal. That's the maintenance has to be done, the testing has to be done, and some of the valves or some of the equipment cannot be maintained during while the process is running. Okay, let me start by giving you a quick overview of the shutdown planning process, and there are basically 3 main stages: the planning, the execution, and the follow-up. The planning itself can take up to 2 years, sometimes even more, depending on the size and the type of plant. The planning itself is mostly about starting with the long list of equipment that needs to be serviced or needs to be tested or inspected, and then deciding with your budgets what you really need to pay attention to and what really needs to be prioritized. How do you reduce that list to what is going to be the final shutdown scope? And that means valves, but that also means other types of equipment. Then you actually plan the execution of the shutdown. You need to make sure that everybody's in place, everybody knows what needs to be done. All your subcontractors and external people have permits and everything is organized, and then you start the shutdown. Then there's the actual execution of the shutdown. That can take weeks, months. It's obviously a very busy time and very chaotic time for a lot of people, so it's really critical to have high focus on structure and schedules and safety. And ultimately, after a couple of weeks, the shutdown execution will be finished and completed. Hopefully you will have completed the scope, or you will have serviced the valves which you were planning to service. And then is the follow-up, which is a lot about documentation, making sure that everything that was done during the shutdown is documented so that you can know later on what steps to take, further steps to take in terms of maintenance, for example. And another important element of shutdowns, which is often neglected, is lessons learned. So some things went well, some things didn't go so well during the shutdown. It's impossible to plan everything in advance and to anticipate every possible problem that will surface during the shutdown. And every plant should, or at least tries to have a follow-up meeting to gather lessons learned and improve on the next shutdown.